Hello everyone, and welcome to another Top 5 Records video and another one in a series in which I'm taking a closer look at the full discography of Pink Floyd. And today we have arrived at their ninth album, Wish You Were Here. And Wish You Were Here is an interesting album. The band were not in too good shape. That's what they said themselves. Because 2 years before this album was released, they had released Dark Side of the Moon. And in their own words, they had gotten everything they wanted. Money, fame, groupies, success, everything they ever wanted. So when they went back into the studio, they felt drained. And they felt wondering, what are we in for? Why are we doing this? And in the light of having made such an incredible album, The Dark Side of the Moon, what is there left to do? So the days in the EMI studios, which are now known as the Abbey Road studios, were rather, how do you say, uninspired. There were some accounts of people saying they were just hanging around, throwing dartboards all the time, and darts at boards all the time, until Roger Waters realized that the situation they were now in should be part of their next album, because they were missing the camaraderie of the old days. There was a sense of guilt towards this new success with regard of Syd Barrett and their former band leader who left them a couple of years before. And there was also a sense of becoming sour in the face of the music industry. You can see that clearly reflected on this cover. You see, this is a Hollywood backlot, but it is supposed to represent the studio, and one man on fire shaking hands with another man. There's an element of looking back while facing a new world in here. And the title of the album, "Wish You Were Here," I think it's a beautiful element of what's in their minds when they're taking this new step. So, the song "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" was already something they had written before. You can hear it being played on other recordings of the Wembley gig from 1974, which was released about 1 or 2 weeks ago on vinyl. But the old bootlegs, they have "Shine On You Crazy Diamonds" in there, which was a 9-piece part. And Waters decided, you know what? The beginning of these the beginning of the song, the bow down down down, it felt like a torn apart guitar piece, and Waters said, it feels like Syd to me. We should start off with it, split in half, and put 2 songs in between them, which later turned out to become 3 songs. David Gilmour disagreed. He did not like the idea of splitting up a song, and he preferred to put it out like Echoes of Autumn Heart Mother and keep "Shining You Crazy Diamonds" intact. But he was outvoted by the other members, and so "Shining You Crazy Diamonds" is the beginning and the ending epic of this album, and I think it is the most marvelous, wonderful choice. I think that song is one of the great Pink Floyd compositions. The way it starts off, the way they first musically create a shape, a space in which you are swimming and floating around, and then out of seemingly nothing you hear bow down down down, and the song starts. And these are amongst the most haunting and beautiful written lyrics. Remember when you were young, you shone like the sun. It has this melancholy, it has this love for a former band member. It has this, Waters later on said that Syd was an example of people who were not there. And you know what's interesting? When this album was mixed, a bald, fat guy walked into the studios. I mean, that sounds perhaps a bit negative, but this is the way the band members described it. He walked into the studio while they were mixing it, stepped along the band members, and people did not recognize him. Until after a while, somebody thought, "You're Syd, right?" And then they had a conversation, and there were people who said that people actually were crying because he was in such a bad shape. And Syd Barrett he walked in just to have a look, and he he wasn't present. He was a spirit that just wandered on, and he did not recognize the relevance of the lyrics, or that it was all about him. And this was, for all the members, apart from Waters, the last time they saw Syd Barrett. Roger Waters recalls that later on there was a moment in which he saw Syd Barrett buying sweets in a supermarket somewhere in London, I believe. But that was the last time, and that element of Syd Barrett, Shining Your Crazy Diamonds, of Wish You Were Here, that haunting presence can be heard throughout this album. And that the haunting presence of what once was, now they're entering a new stage musically and facing a music scene industry which they are a bit reluctant in. That is the essence of this album, and it's a beautiful concept. It's beautiful. Once Shining Your Crazy Diamonds is over, though, we'll get into a song, Welcome to the Machine. And I've never understood why that song is on this album. I'm so sorry. I think it is, I mean, the album is brilliant. The album is brilliance. And it is even more incredible that this album is so brilliant in the light of that they had just finished The Dark Side of the Moon. I mean, coming up with another album in that light and it being this good, brilliant, is incredible. But Welcome to the Machine. I mean, I don't like the melody. Welcome, my son. Welcome to the machine. And I mean, for the next line, where have you been? It's alright, we know where you've been. Why, if you fucking know where he's been, why are you asking that question? I mean, I think Welcome to the Machine is a pathetic song. And it's a song I can forgive the album, but it should not be here, man. Oh, well, then you ended a side one off, which started off perfect, but it has just a dissonant, childish song. I don't like it. Now, side two, everything is back into flow. I mean, Have a Cigar. Have a Cigar. Beautiful song, sung out of the perspective of a music executive or a music or the director of a music production company. Have a Cigar, sung by Roy Harper, by the way, a very good singer-songwriter who has some brilliant albums. He does a great job, and then you get to one of the most beautiful ballads ever written. Wish You Were Here. I mean, the way that starts. The sound of the guitar, the sincerity in the voice, the beauty of the lyrics. It is so gorgeous. It's a masterpiece of writing. And then you end up this album with the final parts of Shine On Your Crazy Diamonds. This album is an adventure. It is one of the best albums of the 70s. And I really, really love it. It has such a beautiful soul. It has such a brilliant story. It has so much to tell. I mean, the fact that Pink Floyd made this just after Dark Side of the Moon and then went on to make even more. I mean, this lives in a musical world of its own. The moment you needle drop on this, you're being invited into a different concentration, a different discipline. And I love it. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Leave a comment below and I'll see you in the next video in which I'll be talking about animals. Bye!